Hey everyone, and welcome. You know, we're all trying to answer this massive question, right? How do we build a life that feels genuinely fulfilling? Well, there are a ton of answers out there, but today we're going to dive into one really powerful and, yeah, sometimes controversial path: spirituality.
So let's just jump right in. What does a fulfilling life actually mean to you? Is it climbing the career ladder, having amazing relationships, or is it something deeper?
Yeah, for so many people, it turns out fulfillment isn't just about checking boxes or what you achieve on the outside. It's more about this inner sense of purpose, something that gives meaning to the everyday grind. And that, right there, is where spirituality comes in. It's really the heart of what we're going to unpack.
Okay, let's dive into our first section. We dug into our sources to see what they say about this connection between spirituality and a fulfilled life. And honestly, the answer is pretty fascinating.
So, can spirituality lead to fulfillment? The consensus from our sources is a big yes. But, and this is a really important but, it's not that simple. The connection is definitely powerful, but it's also super complex and incredibly personal. It's no magic bullet, that's for sure. So let's break down what that actually means.
All right, first things first, let's get on the same page with our terms. When we say spirituality in this context, we're talking about a search for meaning, for purpose, or for a connection to something bigger than just ourselves. It's a really broad idea, and super important, it doesn't have to be tied to organized religion at all.
And then there's self-fulfillment. That's the goal, right? It's all about realizing your own potential, living a life that just feels right and in line with what you truly value. You can say it's about becoming the most authentic version of yourself.
Okay, so how exactly does spirituality lead to self-fulfillment? This really gets to the heart of it. Let's explore the how. What are the actual pathways that connect the two?
So our sources all point to four main pathways. Think of these as the bridges that connect spirituality to a feeling of fulfillment. Let's walk through them. First up is finding meaning and purpose. This is all about finding your why, something bigger than just your job or your daily to-do list. It gives a larger context to everything you experience. The second pathway is all about cultivating inner peace. Through certain practices, which we'll get to in a bit, the idea is to quiet all that mental chatter, cut down on stress, and just find some emotional calm, even when life is throwing everything it has at you. Number 3 is promoting personal growth. A spiritual journey pretty much always involves looking inward. It pushes you toward greater self-awareness and helps you develop qualities like compassion, resilience, and gratitude. And finally, the fourth pathway, building connection. This is such a powerful antidote to loneliness. It's about fostering a sense of belonging, whether that's with a community, with nature, or with something you feel is transcendent.
And look, these pathways aren't just some nice philosophical ideas. There's actual research here that our sources point to. They're linked to very real, tangible benefits, things like enhanced mental health, being able to cope with stress better, and building stronger social support systems.
I love this quote because it just nails it. The journey is inward. That's the key word. It means the real power here isn't about following a bunch of external rules. It's about your own personal quest for meaning. That's where the potential to really transform your life comes from.
Okay, so if it's an inward journey, how do you actually, do it? Let's get practical and move from the big ideas to some concrete actions.
Well, the sources point to a whole bunch of really accessible practices. We're talking about things like meditation, mindfulness, prayer, journaling your thoughts, or even just spending some quiet time out in nature. Honestly, the specific practice you choose isn't the most important thing. It's the intention behind it. Think of these as the tools you can use to build those pathways we just talked about.
All right, we have to talk about a really crucial point now. We've gone over the what and the how, but our sources are super clear on this. This is not a one-size-fits-all formula. The whole thing hinges on it being a deeply, deeply personal journey.
And here's the bottom line. That connection between spirituality and fulfillment, it isn't automatic. It doesn't just happen. The number one thing that matters, more than anything else, is authenticity. Does the path you're on feel real and genuine to you?
And this comparison here really lays it all out. An authentic path that's driven by your own curiosity. It lines up with your personal values. It's all about being open. But the flip side, a path driven by external pressure, rigid rules, feeling like you have to do it, or traditions that feel constricting, that can actually do the opposite. It can get in the way of fulfillment and just create more conflict inside.
And of course, we have to remember that spirituality is just one path. Our sources also highlight so many other powerful ways to find fulfillment that have nothing to do with it. Things like meaningful relationships, creative expression, learning new things, or being of service to others. The end goal is a fulfilled life, and there are many, many roads that can take you there.
Now, this complexity is also why there are critiques. From a psychological standpoint, some are skeptical. They might see spirituality as unscientific, or they confuse it with the very real damage that rigid dogmatic religion can cause. And that's exactly why that distinction we just made between an authentic path and one based on external pressure is so important to keep in mind.
Okay, so after digging into all of this, what's the big takeaway? Where does this leave all of us on our own search for a fulfilled life? The message from our sources is actually really clear, and I think pretty hopeful. Spirituality can absolutely be a profound, powerful tool for building a life that feels rich with meaning, peace, and personal growth.
But, and if you take away one thing, let it be this: its real power only gets unlocked when it's your personal journey. It has to be a path that truly aligns with your genuine, authentic values, one that you follow out of curiosity, not because you feel you have to.
And so, that leaves us with one last question to think about. Whether spirituality is part of it or not, what does your authentic path to fulfillment look like? Thanks for digging into this with me today.